The CCL is an idea which started as a project that my wife and I have considered while we were in the US in '89. And the idea turned around, focused on bringing American students to Morocco to have an experience in study abroad in this country. And it started very small, 2 of us running the program, 7 students, and then it grew to the organization that we have today. The request that we have received from one American organization called the School for International Training was what initiated us in this experience. And it was very specific. You will have a number of American students, undergraduates, coming from different American universities, different backgrounds and disciplines. And we were supposed to provide them with the education, but also arrange for them the homestays and educational visits and language courses. So this is how it initially began. And then we started diversifying both the universities that we work with and the activities and the curricula that we offer. First, it started with the School for International Training based in the small town in Vermont called Brattleboro. And then we started working with a variety of schools, such as City College of New York, Wellesley College, and then later Boston University, and a long list that you are invited to look at in our website, long list of American universities, and also one organization initially called Rhodes, and then now it's called Rhodes Scholar, which is also based in Boston, and they send us retired, mostly Americans, some Canadians and others from other nationalities, but I would say that 95% of those who come through Rhodes Scholars are Americans, and they come here to do a mini semester abroad, which is meeting with Moroccan intellectuals, artists, activists, and visiting different cities and locations in Morocco with the objective of going beyond what is called commercial tourism or traditional tourism. These are essentially people who want to go to understand more about the country, to interact more with the country, and then also to raise academic questions about a variety of issues that they confront, that they see, but that were also proposed to them prior to their visit. Well, I think that the largest bulk of the programs is the Arabic language program. So we have a large number of students who come on an annual basis to study Arabic, mostly Fusha, standard Arabic, but some study also Moroccan Arabic. Then you have the long list of courses and lectures that we offer in such disciplines as political science, sociology, economics, history, arts, etc. So among the programs that we have been offering in the last 3 or 4 years, we have one entitled Multiculturalism and Human Rights, and a program on immigration, and a program on journalism. And these 3, and then an intensive summer program, which takes place in June and July. And these programs are done in collaboration with the School for International Training in Vermont. But we also have full semester abroad programs that focus on Islamic issues, religion, politics, and history that we offer to the students coming from BU. Plus, we have a long list of shorter programs, which are a series of lectures, debates, discussions, and artistic performances, musical performances that we offer to here in this building at the center. The purpose has evolved. I think initially we simply wanted to impress the sending school that we can do it. Mostly we are more concerned with logistics and safety. And also finding the scholars and speakers in the country who could talk to the students, who could teach courses, etc. So the logistics at first were our primary concern, but then the idea expanded since we saw the significance of the experience that the students undergo in this country. We realized that the logistics are, of course, have been and continue to be very important, but the substance of the programs has been, and we are reinforcing this now, how to make students and also elderly, people who are interested and curious about Morocco as a part of a larger culture, as a part of the African, Arab, Islamic civilization, how to facilitate access to this culture, and how to make them aware of how this culture thinks of itself and thinks of others, and also challenges the perceptions that most of our students and visitors have prior to visiting us. Well, first, we, unlike the standard American campus, we emphasize on the diversity of sources of knowledge. So sources of knowledge here is not the library only, and it's not the classroom only, but the sources of knowledge is the entire society, what happens outside of the classroom, which is the streets, daily lives, families, the mountains, the deserts, the visits. So all these, we consider that to be the equivalent of a good library. The difference is that this library, which is chaotic or can seem to be chaotic or unorganized, and part of what we offer to the participants in our program is how to find your way in this the largest library in the universe, how to interact with people, how to sharpen their senses of observation, how to appreciate the difference, how to use the different senses that we have, which is the smell, the sight, the sound, and all these senses in an average American campus supposed to be neutralized in order to allow only for the cognitive side of the body to learn, which is very important. But in our case, we give a larger dimension. The second approach is, again, an average American campus, or even the most sophisticated universities, although they try to offer a multidisciplinary approaches, but still the bureaucracy of the university seems to be structured along the departments and along the specialization, the disciplinary specializations of professors and scholars and the degrees that the students have. Well, in this experience, short as it is, varying from few weeks, from 2 or 3 weeks to 15 weeks, here the objective is to combine all sources of knowledge and the disciplinary backgrounds of students in order to answer questions that the students have. So it is not to train students for a specific discipline, but to allow the students to utilize all the resources that they have and all the knowledge that they have from the different backgrounds that they have in order to answer the questions that they deem to be most important to them. I would say that the philosophy of the center is first to recognize the diversity of cultures, the pluralism of ideas, to appreciate these diversities, to seek to enhance our knowledge of the other, but on the basis of a genuine belief in the equality of human beings, regardless of culture, religion. This, in a different setting, does sound fine, etc. And it might sound also as a starting point for an abstract knowledge of the other, which could happen, for example, by reading a wonderful book in an air-conditioned library. But here it is, you have to test this on the ground. As you speak, for example, as you think of respecting the other gender, you go to the streets and then you are confronted with the challenges of how the other gender behaves towards you. Or as you realize that you need to initiate some communication with someone from another religion, you are challenged on the ground. And this challenge is not only limited to intellectual challenge over what sources do you have, or what codes are you going to use, which is, again, I do think that this is very important. But it is also how you are competing on practice, on the space, on if you are competing to reassure or reinsert yourself or to express yourself. And this is done not at the theoretical abstract level, but it is done in practice, physically, while you are seeing someone who is supposed to be from a different sort, from a different religion, gender, linguistic background. You are interacting with these people who are the other. So I think that the philosophy is that you are learning by doing, and you are testing your knowledge and utilizing your resources from from all these sources, and then appreciating the difficulties and the tensions, and hopefully overcoming this tension and realizing that you could live with someone who is different. You could live in a pluralist world, and that this pluralist world is not very easy, but it is doable. It is fine. You can do it. And I think that we have a sense of pride when we realize that we can achieve some of these principles that are very dear to the founders of this institution. We hope that they walk away with a sense of self-confidence in themselves, that they can confront diversity and that they can appreciate the diversity, and they can even be happier in diversity rather than being afraid of this diversity, or rather than being very much concerned about what they would lose. Of course, we lose some when we recognize the other, but what we are gaining by learning from the other is more than what we lose. So I think that overall we would like that, or we are very happy when students, not necessarily, because this learning process doesn't end at the end of a program. Some of the learning process takes place many months, if not even years, after the program, and we do receive some visitors, alumni from our programs who have been with us 20 years, 15 years, 10 years, and some of them are telling us that, well, there are aspects of the program that they didn't like while they were here, but then they found it useful later on in their lives. Or that they were so excited about what they learned while they were here, but then it became such an integral part of their personality that they wouldn't even realize or recognize what is it that came from what they have learned from us, or from our experience, or from their experience with us, or what they have learned as they have evolved as human beings. But I think that I'm very sure that all those who have gone through this experience leave with so much knowledge and emotions that they become more mature individuals, and that they become more able to interact with the modern world, with the globalized world, which is the world of diversity and of difference. They should participate in a program that we offer, because we are certain that we will offer them an experience that there is no possibility that they will have outside of this organization. And this experience is, as I mentioned earlier, it is the experience of discovering the richness of the other and appreciating it, and then also discovering the abilities that we have, that because of the lack of experience, we never discovered that we could actually interact and learn and appreciate the others. And because if you live in a closed community or in a homogeneous community, you sometimes tend to ignore the abilities that we have inside us when we meet with people from different cultures and different religions and different genders, etc. I would define it as the experience in interacting with diversity, and also the experience of practicing in the ground on the pluralism and the plurality of life. And I would also define it as learning by doing in a different context. And this different context can be within the same country, within the same school, but it becomes more highlighted. It becomes more challenging the farther you go away with your niche, with your comfortable zone. I think that any country could offer programs, and I'm sure that many others are offering these programs. And I think what sets Morocco apart is the fact that Morocco is one piece of the larger puzzle, which is the world. Then you can step on any of these pieces and learn something new. Well, it just happened that because my wife and I, the founders of this organization, and the 30-some people who are participating in offering these activities, they are all of them are very familiar with this culture, and they have also gained enough experience to allow us all to deal with the challenges that we could meet anytime we have no students or we have no programs. And also it has given us the experience and the knowledge of what hasn't worked in the past and what we could make better. And we have also learned from the participants in our programs, because they are the ones who evaluate us and assess us and give us ideas and suggestions at the end of each program to how to make the program even better and how to meet the continuous change in needs of the participants in our program. It's not only that the worlds and the cultures are different, but the same culture changes. And over the last 20 years since I've been involved in this program, I saw the young American students who are different from the young American students today, or the elderly 20 years ago, the elderly Americans, the Americans who participated in our Elder Hustle program or Rhodes Scholar program, who are different now. Now these are different generations, and we have the luxury of observing all this, learning from it, and keeping our eyes and ears open to what they recommend to us in order to constantly improve. Yes, in addition to the 33 full-time staff members of the center, we have a long list of scholars, artists, musicians, cooks, who are either affiliated with other universities in Morocco, particularly in Rabat, the University of Mohammed V, in Kenitra, in Fez, in Marrakesh, in Saleh, and we are also constantly looking for new scholars who either they contact us because they hear of us, or that we meet them in conferences and meetings, etc. We also are more and more involved with NGOs. And this is a booming activity in Morocco in the last 10 years or so. Every year we have new NGOs, and these NGOs, some of them are very active, they're becoming more professional, and they contact us in order to interact with our participants, or we contact them because we ask them to offer certain services to us. So the NGOs is also a very interesting and an important and continuously expanding pool of people who work with us, and also musicians and artists. And this is also something that we are very proud of. We give priority when it comes to musicians and artists to the community where the center is located. But we also look for other sources, and we have a team of the CCL staff whose job is to do what is called program development. And every year they would travel 2 or 3 times to different regions in Morocco, trying to discover new people, interact with different communities, and propose to us new sites and new activities, new artists, new speakers.